What's up, A to Z Sports Live on a Friday. Going to wrap up this week with a interesting show. And Titans quarterback Will Levis showing signs of shifting before his resurrection as the starting quarterback versus the Chargers. Maybe. We'll find out maybe today if Will Levis is going to be the Titans starting quarterback on Sunday in Los Angeles. So we're about to have a good conversation about really kind of carrying over what you and Sam talked about yesterday, Easton. I'm going to give my 2 cents a little bit about that. And then we're going to dive into the shifting that we saw from Will Levis with a little bit of a different demeanor yesterday in the locker room as you guys were talking to the Titans quarterback as he continues to try to work through the shoulder injury that has cost him the last 3 starts, cost him really 4 of the last 5 games for the Tennessee Titans. And we'll find out if they can put together a back-to-back wins on the season. After we talk about Will Levis, we're going to keep talking about Will Levis, but we're going to throw Sam in the conversation because, Easton, the Survivor 47 episode from this past week was all the drama, right? So I think there's going to be a really good conversation we're going to have about Sam and Will Levis, who survives longer for the rest of their respective seasons. And I think that's going to be a fun conversation because Sam is not here to just sit there and smile and nod and not say anything. So you and I get to actually talk through it. So that's going to be fun. Then it's good news because we do that on every Friday. Ain't that good news? So welcome in, Easton. Hope your Friday's off to a good start.
It is, Austin. It's off to a great start. And a bad start for the folks in the audience. Unfortunately, they have to get a triple dose of me this week. Too bad. I'm back on a Friday. Our schedule that we had established at the beginning of the year, we just kind of make it up sometimes. Don't worry about it.
It's going to keep happening. It's going to keep being
next week
around.
too. You know what? Just every day is a mystery box. You get to find out who you get in the morning.
Let us get through Thanksgiving, and then we might maybe get back to some normalcy. Who knows?
I'm betting against it, but maybe. Yeah. Good morning to you. Good morning to the chat. Folks, we need you to help us out this morning. We need likes on the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Easiest way that you can be a friend of the show this morning. Be a pal. Hit that like button. Gets a bunch of people in here for us. It helps us with the algorithm and all these things. So like the show, lock in for this Friday episode, and let's get it off and rolling.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freeze, one of our Titans reporters for A to Z Sports.com. And we're Nashville's on-demand sports.network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Got to thank our sponsors. They make it happen for us, and they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. See them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans and do that with our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ. And TDOT, be part of the solution to end littering across Tennessee here with NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. So, Easton, I would like you to kind of reset the conversation from yesterday that I was not a part of.
Sure.
You guys had a really good conversation. I caught some of it towards the end, then I showed up for the trivia fraud questions that you guys got.
Fraud is crazy. You mean the fantastic record-shattering run of trivia that we had?
Very, very softball trivia session.
Man, real team player that you are, Austin. Can't be happy for us for just setting the bar high.
Yeah. So
I think what we established is that you and I maybe don't compliment each other in trivia. Yeah, our strengths and weaknesses overlap a little too much.
Yeah, we did have a post game meeting and figured out like what the real.
We reviewed the tape. We have a plan going forward.
Yeah. We too many crossover strengths for you and I, and too many crossover weaknesses for you and I when it comes to trivia. All right, so take us through. So yesterday, you guys asked the question that was, what does Will Levis have to do to have a chance to be the Titans quarterback beyond this season?
Right.
I mean, indications feel like he's going to play against the Chargers on Sunday. Nothing's official yet, but he went limited Wednesday at practice. He was a full participant on Thursday at practice. We'll find out today because after he goes full, how does the shoulder respond to that? Is he full again today? Is he limited after being full yesterday? But you guys went through the back and forth on what does he have to achieve in the last 9 games of opportunity, the maximum opportunity to have a chance to be the starter next year And you and Sam were very much different in how you approached it, which I thought was an entertaining product.
For sure. And yeah, if folks are wondering what the deal is with Levis this week, the plan coming into the week, obviously, was that this is going to be where they want him to jump back into the lineup. Indications through the first 2 days of practice are that he's in the best place that he's been so far, which is encouraging news. The decision hasn't been made. We heard from Nick Holtz yesterday say that they were probably going to make that decision tonight. I don't believe the decision has been made. I think that today's practice will be the final determining factor. But as you mentioned, full at practice yesterday, which is the first time he's been full at a practice since, I'm not even sure he was full in practice the week before the Colts game. So it may be.
No, I want to say he was full in practice.
Was he? Okay.
The week before Buffalo. I want to say it was the Thursday before Buffalo, okay, where they were like, "We're going to put you through everything," and it did not respond well.
Right. Okay, fair enough. But yesterday, a different type of full practice where the response sounds like his body responded well to that. The conversation we had yesterday, the way that Sam approached it, was from a mostly a wins standpoint, I think. And what was interesting about his answer was, I'm trying to think about what exactly his answer was. It was win 5 of the remaining 9 games, if I'm not mistaken, was his answer.
Yeah.
And his answer was kind of twofold. On one hand, winning 5 games likely to look better as a quarterback. You can kind of flub your way to 5 wins still if you got a great running game or you play some bad opponents, but probably going to look pretty good if you win 5 of these games,
especially with the schedule the Titans have.
Totally right. There aren't a ton of walkovers, so that's totally fair. So good on Levis in that way. Maybe more importantly, and this is where I think the conversation got interesting, his point was that if you win 4 or 5 of the remaining 9 games, the Titans will have 6 or 7 wins, right? And that's likely to take them out of any kind of contention to replace him. It's an opportunity cost argument that he made about how teams are a lot more willing to stick with a guy that's kind of or kind of iffy if there isn't a great option out there. And we talked about how, like the Giants last year, they would have loved to have replaced Daniel Jones in that draft, but they didn't. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. They didn't have an opportunity to do so. So here they are rolling with Daniel Jones. They're not happy about it. But, the Falcons, Kirk Cousins was available. They said, Desmond Ridder, get your butt, pack your stuff, get up out of here. We're getting Kirk Cousins, and then we're going to also draft a guy, which was out of nowhere. But the opportunity there is what matters. And he, I think, fairly, I agree with him on this, thinks that if they win 4 or 5 more games, they're going to be really limited on what they can do to definitively upgrade from Will Levis. There may be some questionable, like, do you pay Sam Darnold a bunch of money? Is that a huge upgrade? Kind of those questions. My tack on the argument was different. Mine was just trying to put some black and white numbers on it a little bit. And the comparison that I made was to 2023 Jordan Love. I said, look at that season, how first 8 or 9 games, back 8 or 9 games, he turned it on midseason. And we weren't really talking about him until November and December. And suddenly it's like, oh, this guy, the light came on. He's playing really good ball. I mean, he's playing darn near MVP level ball down the stretch. And so I looked at some of those numbers, and immediately after the show, I was thinking about it, and I texted you and Sam, and I said, I have a better way to approach this, which I'm not going to share today because it's going to be in an article either today or tomorrow. So listen, you got to go check it out. But it's a variation on the argument. I looked at what his actual numbers were, Jordan Love's, down his final 9 games, which is how many games Will Levis has left if he plays this week, and said he should try to hit these bars. And it was, a lot of touchdowns, very few interceptions, fewer sacks, very high completion percentage, those important metrics there. The article, the variation on it is to be more fair to Levis, because he is in a different situation, very different situation. It's more a percentage increase kind of deal, as opposed to just black and white, do exactly what Jordan Love did. But I am curious, because you said after this show, after listening to Sam and I's argument, it sounded like you had your own way of approaching this question.
I do, because I think there's a blend of both of yours that is probably the most realistic way that Will Levis can extend his Titans quarterback career beyond this season. Okay. And I do think it starts with Sam's. Sure. To be honest, I think winning, and it's different perspectives. Will Levis has to win enough to make it difficult to replace him, right? That was Sam's thought, is if you were picking between 9 through 13 in the draft, it is going to be tougher this year to draft a quarterback than it was last year to draft a quarterback 9 through 12 or whatever.
Totally.
So
there's no Bo Nix available at 10 or
there's
11
no
this
Bo
year.
Nix.
Right.
There's no, who else was it? JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix,
those guys.
Those guys, yeah. So that is one thing. And you would assume that with winning more games than you lose in the back half of the season, that the production will also somewhat follow.
Mm-hmm.
It is correlated, not to the level of your Jordan Love numbers at the second half of last season,
right,
but significantly better than his like 4 touchdowns to 11 interceptions.
With the bar being so low, it has to be better to win games.
What do you have? 10 turnovers in 3 games and 11 snaps. I think
sounds correct.
I think it was 10.
Sounds correct.
10 maybe. So it was very, very bad. So can he flip his touchdown to INT ratio to be positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
A positive number. And then can he help them win games? And I do think that's how it can happen. It's not easy though, because as we've talked about with the schedule, I think if Will Levis needs to start, and because I do think 5-4 to get to 7-10 is probably the correct record for Will Levis to win too much to save his own ass.
Sure.
And so that I think would have to start with a win this Sunday at LA, because you're not going to beat the Vikings. You're not going to beat the Commanders. You maybe be able to steal one against the Texans. I don't know, but you're going to
most of these wins need to come against the division, right? You have to get the other Colts game. You lost the first
4.
one.
I think you have to get 4 against the division.
You absolutely have to get one of the Jags games. Really, you probably need to get both. You'd like to steal one from the Texans. Chargers, you're right. Between Chargers, Bengals, Commanders, Vikings, those are 4 tough tasks, and I think Chargers is definitely the easiest,
and
barring some massive injuries or anything.
Right. And so I think it's gonna have to start here. And so what's the likeliness of that? I'm not really sure.
Don't ask Vegas, it's grim.
Yes, very grim. Do you have any updates from Vegas?
I'm pulling it up right now. As of the opening of the week, it was Chargers 8.5, which really took me by surprise.
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's Vegas.
7.5 now.
Because that's Vegas implicitly saying playing on the road in LA where they have no fans is only 1 point easier than playing on the road against Buffalo, maybe the best team in the league with the best fans.
Yes. Somebody's saying our Facebook, so Facebook's having real timeout. I'm having a conversation timeout because Easton, on the comments, can you see the names of the Facebook commenters, or does it just say Facebook user with
I'm seeing Facebook user?
Yeah.
I saw the names earlier though at the beginning of the show.
I did too. It Facebook is working, but for one reason, like Facebook user, especially with Trevor Lawrence. Now I can flip over to Facebook and see that was Jaron that had that, but I don't know what the hell is going on with Facebook right now. But
Facebook gets to be anonymous this morning. It's all right.
Yes. So look, say whatever you want to say. You're anonymous. I'm kidding. That's only to us, not to people actually get on Facebook, because I can see.
Just hop over with us on YouTube. Easy fix. Yeah, just jump over to YouTube, guys.
I don't know why that's going on. So let's get to this, because in order for any of this to come to fruition, whether it's winning 5 games or throwing 20 touchdowns and 5 interceptions down the stretch, Will Levis has to change. Well, it looked like there was a shift of change, signs of it, at least, with his interview yesterday in the locker room, a little press conference in the locker room, media availability, if you want to call it that. So we'll get to that here in a second. We'll play that entire 2-minute plus video of Will Levis talking to Titans media. And I want to get the vibes from Easton, who was there with Sam, about this. So we'll do that here in a second. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute is where you should turn for all of your injury needs. If you have injuries in life, which happens, unfortunately, you have to know who you can turn to and who you can trust. That is the Bone and Joint Institute in Franklin, right off of I-65 and Highway 96, next door to Williamson Medical Center. They've got all the resources and the experts under one roof. So if you're walking in there, you need to get something figured out, whether it's your back or your shoulder, or a lingering joint injury from the past, or maybe it's something new. Maybe it's something fresh. Maybe, hopefully not. Your son or daughter has some type of injury from playing youth sports. That happens too, and they can take care of them because they know how to take care of the kids playing whatever that youth sport is and whatever that injury may be. They've got it all right there under one roof in Franklin, boneandjointtn.org.
We're also brought to you by BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. Sign up today using our bonus code ATOZ Sports and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Whether you're cheering on the Titans at the stadium or watching the game at your favorite Music City sports bar, you're always going to be able to get in on the action with BetMGM because that app is right in the palm of your hand. There's nothing better than a Titans win, except perhaps the thrill of winning at BetMGM. Enjoy the best parlay selection options, boosted odds specials, daily promotions, and so much more. Download that BetMGM app today. Sign up using our code ATOZ Sports and experience the football season like never before. BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans.
All right, so the headline of the show, Will Levis shows signs of shifting before resurrection as Titans QB versus Chargers. We think Will Levis is going to play against the Chargers on Sunday. Here was Will Levis in the Titans locker room talking to other media, all the media, yesterday on a Thursday after being it was before or after practice? After practice.
This was after practice in the locker room.
Yeah, after practice as a full participant. Here's Will Levis.
Feeling good. It's been a good week so far. Taking more reps. See how it goes this week, but I'm feeling good.
What do you want to do differently this time around? If your number's called on Sunday, what do you want to do differently this time around maybe than you did the first go around?
I'm just going to keep trying to operate the offense the best way I can. I feel like I've gotten better, and I think I'll show improvement in that area, but I'm not going into this second stint of the season being like, I have to play this way or the other way. I think I can get into trouble when you think like that. So just trying to operate the offense and be the best quarterback I can for this team.
Seems like preparation and leading side of things, like what has to happen differently for you to be able to go out there this week?
Sorry, what do you mean?
As far as like in the past, like you felt like you were ready.
Oh, yeah.
And then, we all thought, and then it didn't happen. So for you, like what has to happen differently?
I just want to make sure that I can go out there and make all the throws in the way that I could before I got hurt. And it's an everyday process of testing different things and coming off the field and monitoring my soreness or pain level throughout the day. So it's just been that, and I'll know when I'm ready, when I know I'm making those throws.
So there was pain last week and soreness last week?
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a point to where I feel like where I can get it to where it'll be manageable, like the soreness at least, but it's more so the strength and the ability of my shoulder and my arm.
Seems like the offense has made some strides at least during your timeout. How do you plug back in and make sure it's kind of picking up on that growth curve instead of kind of going back to where you left off when
it was awesome for the guys to be able to get those reps and continue to get more comfortable in the offense. I'm just going to be the best quarterback you can for this team.
What's it been like trying to be patient and how much you're kind of chomping at the bit to get back out there?
Yeah, it's tough. I'm competitive as heck and I want to be out there every week. It sucks when you're out there and you can't be playing. So hopefully being able to go this week. I've been chomping at the bit, like you said. Excited to go out there and lead our team.
Brian said that while you were out, he feels like it was an opportunity for you to gain perspective, was the word that he used. Do you feel like you gained perspective, and in what areas, have you potentially grown while watching from the sideline?
Yeah, just seeing, the different ebbs and flows of the game and, how that can call for different decisions or different kind of pre-snap thought processes. It's nice been every single play being hip to hip right there with Bo and Trevor, just talking through the situation, going through the call, what's the thought process, what's the look, all right, it's this look, what are we doing here? Playing quarterback from the sideline essentially, so it's cool getting all those reps from that perspective. I think Mason did a good job, and I'm able to take some of the things that he did and apply that to our offense and continue to develop it.
So there's Will Levis there. The question from Sam at the end about the perspective. So Easton, what vibe did you get from standing in that scrum? Because I saw somebody on Facebook that I don't know exactly who they are, but I can flip over and somebody says he looks broken. And that would be
Facebook user.
He looks broken is from Facebook user Ty Smith.
Oh, Ty.
I'm cross-referencing the weird situation right now. So what do you think was the vibe from Levis and just what you saw. Avante says he looked dead. Like, what did you think?
Yeah, I'm seeing everybody react. Looks dead, looks defeated, looks broken. I can understand that. To me, it reads differently. I think it's a mix of some emotions, right? I think it's primarily a mix of frustration and nervousness. I think the frustration is born of the fact that he's a competitive guy. One unfortunate play 6 weeks ago has caused his personal season to be derailed since then. And he's been rehabbing, and obviously, like, he thought he was going to come back relatively soon, playing the Colts game. It did not go the way that he wanted it to. And then the last 3 weeks, it's been a lot of rest, try again, no. Rest, try again, no. Almost there, close, maybe Friday, no, not going to play anyways. That's taxing mentally, and I you can sense the frustration building up in a competitor that wants to get back out there. So I think that he is understandably kind of fed up with the current situation of doing interviews in the locker room because it's Mason and Will, and until there's a clear starter, we're not going to go back to the podium, which is the way that we usually do it. And he's talking about a game where he doesn't know if he's actually going to be playing or not because it's up to the coaches and all these things. So frustrated. And then the nervousness is born of, I think there's kind of a mortality element to his mindset right now, where he knows he's a bright guy. He understands that.
Yeah,
once he
not
comes
an
back,
idiot. Not
an idiot. He does some dumb things on the football field sometimes, but as a person, he is not dumb at all. He knows that once he gets back out there, like, it's put up or shut up time for him. His career, not in the NFL, he'll stick around in the NFL, but his potential as a starter with the team that drafted him to do so is on the line, and he has 8 or 9 games to prove that. And he not only 8 or 9 games to prove that, but a real uphill climb to prove that. So I think he is both nervous and frustrated, and honestly just ready to quit talking about it and ready to get out there and start doing it.
So Easton, I was talking to Sam yesterday as he was getting ready for the primetime show last night in for Buck. And we were kind of planning through some of his thoughts and topics. And I remembered something from after the bye week. And you remember when Will Levis got to the podium after the bye week, and he said, there was a couple days where I was really down.
Yeah.
And then I realized it was like, I don't need to allow that to happen again. I need to make sure that I keep myself steady. I forget exactly what I'm paraphrasing, but do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Here we are. That was a month ago, right? Because the Colts game was on October 12th or 13th, I think it was.
Right.
Going into November 10th or whatever it's going to be on Sunday. A month later, he looks like he's down. And he looks like he is not the same guy that we watched beat bop around and have a bunch of energy throughout training camp and throughout the first bit of the season. It does seem different. There is a shift in his energy. And I think you're right with the frustration part, and that could be it. He could be nervous because of the mortality, but I guess I want to get to, I want to ask the question to the audience real quick, though, before I let you expand. Is this concerning, or does it just not matter? Is Will Levis's demeanor concerning yesterday because of frustration and potential nervousness that Easton's thrown out there, or losing the confidence that he talked about after the bye week? Or is this just not matter because he's pissed off and annoyed because he hasn't been able to play for 3 weeks because his shoulder's been bothering him? Concerning or doesn't matter at all? I'm really curious at what the audience is going to feel here, because as it's funny because I'm looking at these YouTube comments without any bias of who the person is. But Avante had a really good comment. I don't remember Avante, but I'm like, oh, this is a great comment. Then I got to flip over and see who it is. Avante says he's been through a lot. Fans have been tough. Team playing a little bit better with him off the field. He wants to compete. It's just been tough. Like, I knew that wasn't a Chris Frazier comment because it was a really good comment from Avante. So
dang, man, tough.
It's a fun experience of can I stop the Chris Frazier comments without Chris Frazier's name and picture next to it? That's going to be
right. Can you profile the comments?
Yes, which is hilarious. But Avante, good comment on that one. He has been through a lot. The fans have been very, very difficult on him. And so I like that. But does this matter, or is this actually concerning that he's allowing some of this outside pressure to change his demeanor, like he talked about not needing to have happen a month ago after the bye week. So we'll get to your opinions on that. Is it concerning? Does it matter? Does it not matter? But first, let me tell you guys about our friends at Farm Bureau Health Plans, fbhp.com/ATOZ. That's where you should turn if you're looking for a brand new health coverage plan. They got you right there. They've been serving Tennesseans for 78 years across the state, and they do a really good job of making sure that you have the right coverage for the right rate and for your situation, not just for any situation, not to put you in a pigeonhole of like, hey, are you A, B, C, or D, or more like those different. No, it's for you specifically, for whatever your family situation is, you as an individual, where you're at in your life stage. They've got it taken care of right there. And it's so easy to get a quote and get a health assessment to find out how you can save money on your coverage, but get a better plan for it. And you can start that process by visiting fbhp.com/ATOZ for Farm Bureau Health Plan. That's fbhp.com/ATOZ.
We're also brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Use our bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up today on the BetMGM app, and they're going to give you up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. Austin, the last time that I attended a college football game, you want to guess how old I was?
I don't know. Was it the same year you created your voicemail?
Yeah, roughly, probably like 11 or 12 years old. Yeah. It has been over a decade. Okay. This weekend, I am going to Vanderbilt, South Carolina.
Ooh,
very
nice.
excited. Should be a good game. First Vandy game, in a while. There's some incentive to get out there. And so I'm going to be betting with BetMGM on Vanderbilt because against Power 5 teams this year, they have covered all of them, all 7 of those games they have covered. And so I've made a lot of money on Vandy betting this year. I'm hoping to do so in person, and I'll be doing it with BetMGM. And when I sign up using bonus code ATOZ Sports, I'm going to put $1,500 on Vanderbilt. Watch me do it. They're going to insure it, so why not?
Nice. Which means you can also update your voicemail greeting.
Never. At this point, it's a good bit. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to be 90 years old, and you're going to hear 12-year-old Easton on the phone.
It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's so good. All right, so let's get back to it. We'll send everybody I'll send you to the comments, Easton. Will Levis's demeanor, is it concerning or does it not matter? Concerning or not matter at all? I'm going to put up a YouTube poll. So, Easton, tell us what you're seeing here in the comment section.
Sure. Let's see what folks are thinking. Where did we ask this question? Here we go. Does not matter, according to Duran. Concerning with an S, according to British Facebook user. I'm only imagining there because that spelling is interesting. He's maturing, says Daniel. IR Hoshi says doesn't matter. Concerning, according to Stevie and Eric. Nick just hates seeing the Levis Mayo commercials play in between Titans commercial breaks there.
Yeah, it is tough.
Does not matter, according to anonymous Facebook user. Slightly concerning, according to Bork. Definitely concerning, according to Facebook user. Not concerning. He's getting serious, according to Daniel. So pretty mixed bag. Folks seem to be split on this.
Let me see if I'm going to scroll through Facebook so I can attach some names to these anonymous Facebook users for whatever reason why that this is happening. So Jaron says definitely concerning. Let's see. Matt Stotler says doesn't matter. We all go through bad days and months. Pedro was your concerning with an S. That was your answer there. Jody, very concerning. He seems very concerned about his place, which I think is interesting because you kind of brought up the mortality of that. Vanessa says concerning. And Wes says maybe it's better. Hyped up Levis hasn't resulted in desired performance, which I think is a really interesting comment there from Wes, because when he's been juiced up and out there and ready to go prove himself and excited about it, that doesn't go very well. So, Easton, is it concerning or does it not matter to you?
It's not concerning at all. It could not matter any less. It's him being a human being. I know you're talking about how he doesn't need to be down. Of course he's down. He hasn't been able to play. He's frustrated. He should be. I think it would be, not only do I think it doesn't matter, I think it would be wildly hypocritical of you and I and most people in the comments if we found this concerning. Because when there are guys like, I don't know, let me just pick a random name out of the bag, Traylon Burks, who beat bop around the locker room when they're on IR and when they're, playing poorly.
Is that happening?
No, I'm just saying, there are certain guys who seem to have a consistent positive demeanor all the time when fans are furious at them or wildly disappointed with them, and we get upset that they don't seem upset about it.
Here's a good example.
Sure.
Malik Willis gets a start and looks awful.
Perfect.
And then in the post-game press conference, people asking about his play, and he's like, I'm happy I woke up today. Like, no, that's not how a quarterback is supposed to answer that question.
Exactly.
Like, woke up, sun rose, I'm good. Like, no,
Yes.
you lost and you threw for like 75 yards. Like, and so I get your point there, right? So
this just shows that he cares a lot and he's pissed off, which he should be, because he didn't play well and then he's not been able to play. So I think this behavior is 1,000% appropriate. He does need to snap out of it. And the antidote is on Sunday. It's called playing football. Once he gets back now, when I'll go from not concerning at all to what's kind of concerning if he plays Sunday. And assuming it's not a complete and utter disaster, worst game of his career, then it's the same guy at the podium next Wednesday. I'm expecting him to get back in the groove, feel like the guy again once he gets back in the saddle. Because I think that's really just that's the cure that he's needing right now is play some football, man.
Yeah. So look, I think I agree with you in the fact that he is frustrated. And I don't hold that against him. I do not hold an injury, holding a guy out and having frustration because of the situation against a player.
If he wasn't frustrated, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's, because I love how you answered. Like, it's frustration and you think it's his own, like, being aware of his own potential mortality.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think, a little bit concerning to me.
Okay.
And so if I were to answer the poll question, which I believe I did hit, I hit send on the poll question. So currently, look, it's so early. The poll question is only like 2 minutes old. So currently it's 57% does not matter, 43% matter. Concerning. If I'm going to answer a or B poll, I'm going to answer concerning, because this guy has one more chance. This is it. He's got a maximum of 9 games remaining on the second year of his NFL career, the second year of his second round pick contract, to prove something to the organization, or like we talked about earlier, to win opportunities to not be replaced. Because Sam is right on what happens to day 2 quarterback draft picks in the second year of their career as the starter. If the team is bad, like bad, that player will be replaced.
Right.
If the team is average at worst, then there's a chance that quarterback can continue into year 3. If the team is good, Jalen Hurts, and makes the playoffs, there's more growth moving forward, and you draft Devontae Smith and trade for A.J. Brown in the next couple of years, and you start to build around Jalen Hurts to make a run at this thing, right?
Right.
I think it's like, I am concerned that I just don't know how much confidence Will Levis has to go out there and play. And I think I'm more concerned because I have no idea what's going to happen. Like, I feel like I'm in the dark. Like, I feel like it's going to be like, all right, let's turn the game on. What's going to happen? Like, because confident Will Levis can make incredible plays.
Sure.
Overly confident Will Levis can make incredibly dumb plays. I don't know what to expect from a less than confident Will Levis. We've only seen confident or overconfident.
That's fair.
So that's why I land on the concern side. Does that make sense?
No, I get that. I understand that. I don't know. I guess I just don't care. I guess it doesn't really bother me. I don't get the sense that he's lost a ton of confidence personally. So if that's the takeaway, then I guess that's a fair concern.
I think maybe it's the nerves, because you said nervous, not like
right.
mentality. Like, we don't know what a nervous Will Levis looks like. When's the last time Will Levis has been nervous? Probably not ever.
I just think about his whole football career and the moments in which it would be most reasonable for him to lose some confidence. When things are going poorly at Kentucky and you're losing you're losing to Vandy, a bad Vandy team, and things are going badly at the college level, and then you get to the NFL level, and in the pre-draft process there's a lot of extracurricular wackiness and people giving you a hard time online and all of these things and questioning your ability to be a real, leader in a locker room. And then you get to the draft and you fall 30 picks lower than you thought you were going to go. And like, I don't think
none of that has shaken his like confidence.
That's my point.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's been shaken now. The fact that he had to miss some time due to a shoulder. I saw him not waver through all of those things. So I don't think now he is wavering.
So MB says, how is this concerning? Concerning for him? Because it's not for the fans. Like as MB is saying, like I guess I'm looking at this through like in the shoes of Levis I feel like this is his last chance. I feel like he definitely has to know that this is probably his last chance to really do something.
Sure. I mean, yes, I do think.
And so I have slight empathetic concern on, is this guy going to be able to live up to his own expectations, the expectations that have been put on him by outside sources? Like, because this is we know, like, if you are average to above average in the NFL at the quarterback position, you're going to make $200 million.
Right.
And Will Levis has a chance to extend that opportunity. I'm not saying if he is average to above average in these 9 games, he's going to make it. No, he gets to play in 2025 to then earn it, but he's got to get to 2025 as a starter. And Facebook user says it's not his last chance in the NFL, which that is attributed to Chris Jump. I agree. It's not, but it's his last chance here because that is the trend with day 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
Desmond Ridder, Drew Lock. Now I just went blank on the list of like 5 guys that Sam has rattled off the whole time. Sam Howell. Yep. Anyway, but those guys get, year and a half, 2 years. By the end of their second year of playing, do they prove? Davis Mills is the example.
Sure.
Like Davis Mills is the example. Was playing pretty good football, but CJ Stroud.
Right.
So, all right. Will Levis is trying to survive.
Yes.
Here's my next question. This is going to be a more fun topic because we're going to dive into a little bit of Sam Phelan's life. Because Sam is not here to smile and say nothing. So here's the parallels. If you watched Survivor, and if you have been watching Survivor, Wednesday night was insanely stressful for anybody who is emotionally invested in Sam's Survivor story. Because Sam was almost gone. Right? The vote was 4-4-1, Sam and Sierra. They had to re-vote. Sierra goes home. Sam survives without a vote, which was bizarre. I don't know how that happened. But now
they just hated Sierra, bro. I don't know.
But now there are 6 more episodes of Survivor left. If you count this past week, that means 7, right? Because I'm counting last week episode and this Chargers game as equal. So 7 for Sam, 9 for Levis. Who survives longer in their respective season?
Okay.
I want to know this.
All right.
So who survives longer? Is it Will Levis? He has 9 chances. Sam has 7. They're each going to get 1, right? So now you got like 6 and 8. So how many games and how many episodes do they survive? Who survives longer with Levis's max of 9 and Sam's max of 7? Now, if he gets to the final episode, if Sam gets the final episode, he would be making the final 3. So that is what I want to get to. We'll get to your thoughts on this one and we'll dive a little bit into it. But first, let me tell you guys about T-Dot. If you want to help keep Tennessee beautiful this fall, you should join local cleanups or just stop littering. It's very easy. NobodyTrashTennessee.com. That is the campaign for T-Dot's solution to help end littering. There's 88 million pieces of litter across our roadways, and T-Dot spends a bunch of money, $23 million on average every year to be exact, to help end that littering. So you can change your habits by not littering, by picking up litter when you see it, or by taking your son or daughter. Maybe you got a niece or nephew. You want to give them good volunteer experience. You can do that by going to NobodyTrashTennessee.com. and signing up for the already organized cleanups in your area. So all you do is nobodytrashtennessee.com, sign up, show up, clean up, boom, done. Everybody feels better. Everybody's making an effort to keep our state beautiful because it is. I went on a walk yesterday, Easton, and in my neighborhood, got a lot of hills to it. I went to the very, very tippy top. I looked over, I was like, damn, this place is insane, right? It felt like I was in the mountains looking over a deck in a cabin. So let's keep it pretty, guys. Nobodytrashtennessee.com.
We're also brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Sign up at the BetMGM app using our bonus code ATOZ Sports today. They're going to hook you up with up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. So get that first bet insured using bonus code ATOZ Sports. BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas.
All right, so what will last longer? Will Levis's second stint as Titans quarterback or Sam's remaining stretch on Survivor 47? So once again, to set the table, and Easton, I'll send you the chat.
Okay.
Sam has 7 episodes left, counting this past week's where he survived by the skin of his teeth. And so Will Levis has 9 games remaining, counting this week. So we're counting this past week for Sam. So 9 versus 7. Levis has 9. Sam has 7. Who lasts longer? What's the chat saying?
Duran and Facebook user and other Facebook user and Burning Devil all think Sam will outlast Will Levis. However, Daniel and Jay and Stevie and Bork all think that Levis will outlast Sam. So I am seeing a healthy mix of Sam, Levis, Sam, Levis, Sam, Levis. People are once again very split on this question. Austin, this is your brainchild, so if you want to fire off your take, I
would like you to go. Oh,
okay.
well, I mean, I can.
I'll go. That's fine.
Yeah, let's bring. What do you got?
It's obviously Levis. Sam's toast. He's cooked. I'm not. He's cooked. I'm not praying on his downfall at all. I'm not somebody to wish less prize money to a friend of mine. I would love for him to prove me wrong and win all of the monies, and then I can bully him into buying me lunch every day or something. But I mean, like, I have eyes and I've been watching the show, and it is a miracle that I was talking to you and Nick Suss at the Tennessean on Wednesday before the show. And I said, guys, just a gut feel. I'm taking my shot
feeling.
Here. I do. I was like, I was Babe Ruth pointing his bat to the stands. I was like, I think Sam's cooked tonight. I think it's over. I think he loses tonight. I think this is the one. And you were like, why? And I was like, literally, my only reasoning is that the vibe is weird. I just every day on Wednesday, I'm with him at the facility, and I'm just reading him. I'm trying to do body language.
You're so
analysis.
Like you are parsing every Sam move just like we do the coaches at press conferences and everything, right?
And I was like, just something about today, and I think I was vindicated in the fact that there was something off about him because he knew what the episode was going to be. And it was him very nearly dying and
not literally dying, but
very nearly losing in the game. And there are 3 people now that are really on the chopping block, and he's one of the 3, right? It's Gabe.
I don't know. So all right, because let's see here.
It's the 3 strongest guys that are all Gabe, Kyle, and Sam are the most and this is a compliment to Sam. Those 3 are perceived clearly by the rest of the tribe as too good at the game to keep around for much longer, especially Gabe, who continues to win challenges and win immunity. He's number 1.
Kyle's
sorry. Yeah, Kyle. Kyle is number 1. Kyle is an all-time challenge guy. The second he loses a challenge and does not win individual, that's what Sam has going for him, is that if it's down to Sam and Kyle, everyone's voting Kyle. He's cooked because he's too good at the game. Right. But Sam was almost that guy. And so Sam is at the point in this game where he has to keep winning advantages and challenges and immunity, or else I think he's toast. I will be very surprised if Sam is still around in 3 or 4 episodes max. I really will. And again, it's a compliment to Sam. I think it's because he's too good at the game, not too bad at the game.
Because somebody says, isn't this Easton's first time watching Survivor? Like, it is. Yeah. And this is I've watched 1 season prior to this, so I watched and learned, and now I know what I'm kind of getting into here. So there's 2 threats, right? There's the physical threat, and there's like the skilled strategy threat. Sam, I think, is viewed as both.
Yeah.
And those people don't last long once they get to the merge, in my understanding, right?
Yeah.
But what I heard, why I thought it was interesting that Sierra went is because I think a few of like Genevieve in particular said something of, I'd like to keep some of the obvious threats around longer so it's easier to get those out when there are fewer numbers.
Right.
Because you don't want to allow somebody to slide through as a social strategy threat who's not an obvious physical, which I'm guessing, I think that buys Sam a little bit more time. And somebody said that Bork said that Sam's been really quiet about it because he has to be like he has to be quiet.
He's legally bound to.
He cannot
quiet.
say anything about it. So that is
Right.
why Sam has been quiet about it. And I think Sam's pissed. I think him getting through bought him another, I don't know, 3 weeks. I don't know. I have no information, right? Sam has done a fantastic job at not doing anything but smiling and ha ha ha. You guys are cracking me up with your entertainment of trying to figure things out. So here's the thing. Will Levis. Where would you put the over-under on Will Levis starting games?
Assuming he starts this week.
Yes, counting this week. So if he has 9 as the max, Sam is 7 as the max. I feel like it's like 5.5.
No. It's either
Under?
7.5 or 8.5.
You think it's higher?
Yeah. The only thing that's going to keep him from playing the games is getting hurt.
Which has happened in both of his seasons.
Sure. And he's already gotten this season's injury out of the way. So.
And what is Will Levis's longest start streak for the Titans?
I don't know. I can look that up.
Yeah, I'm about to look it up too. Because he's only started 4 games in a row, technically, because he got hurt in game 4, right?
Yes, correct. He, going back to last year.
Falcons. When did he get hurt?
8 games in a row last year.
Who played 8?
Weeks 8 through 15 he played.
Didn't he get hurt? When did he get hurt?
He got banged up, but he played the game.
There was one game he left early.
Yeah, it was
it Carolina? Did he get rolled up on like the last play of the game? I think he got.
There was one game where he missed a couple drives, but he continued to play.
Yeah. And then the Texans game is when he got hurt early. So 8 games in a row. That is wild. I did not realize it was that many.
Well, maybe not, because I'm looking at Ryan Tannehill's stats. He didn't play in any of those games during those 8 games. Was it Willis who came in for him?
No, it was Tannehill.
Well, then
there was a game
he got in those 8 games.
There was a game he got hurt on the tight. Honestly, I think it might have been the overtime loss against the Colts, where he got hurt. He got rolled up on, but the Titans never got the ball back.
Mm.
And Facebook user and a couple others are saying he got hurt in both Texans games, which were he start the second Texans game and basically lasted like the Dolphins, and then that was it.
I think so.
I think that's correct. He started in Houston because Traylon Burks dropped the bomb down the middle of the field in the first drive, and then he got hurt.
The second Houston game, yes. He
got hurt in both Houston.
It was a little bit more than the Dolphins game, but he didn't make it to halftime. Yeah.
Okay, so you think Levis makes it?
I'd set the bar at 7.5, and I'm taking the over.
Okay, which is basically more than Sam.
I think
Sam could win Survivor and Levis lasts longer.
If Sam, yes. By that standard, yes. But if I had to put the over-under on Sam, if the number's 4.5 weeks, if we're counting this week, if the number's 4.5 weeks, I'm tempted to take the under. Honestly,
Sam? So your over-under on Sam is 4.5, and you're going under.
So that means I would
3 more weeks.
I'm basically betting on him losing one of the next 3 episodes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would. Yes. Again, if I'm watching. I'm not praying on your downfall, bro. Prove me wrong. I'm just trying to read the tea leaves here.
Okay. I'm gonna buck it. I think Levis gets hurt again.
Okay.
I think something happens. I think Levis will start 4 consecutive games. And I think there will either be an injury that pulls him back out because Cushionberry's out. There's
True.
other situations there on the O-line.
Mhm.
And I think, or if he stays healthy, I think that there's a situation where the Titans are, let's look at it. I'm giving 4 games for Levis. I'm
Go
giving
through Washington.
Chargers, Vikings, Texans, Commanders.
Okay.
I'm looking at 2-10. At 2-10,
Okay.
hosting the Jags, I think there's a chance that there's a benching. I think that is a benching opportunity.
God, it would be so stupid. It'd be
But
so stupid.
But 2-10, you're back and the coaches have something to prove.
Don't care if they get. I'll just. You know what? I'll just put it on the record right now, and y'all can hold me to this. If they get to 2, if they are 2-10, and Will Levis gets benched, I am out on the GM. I am out on the owner.
Ooh,
bad
out on the owner.
Bad organization.
Out on the owner. If
mismanaged or dysfunctional
But
organization.
what if it's the coach's decision and not the GM's?
I know the coaches don't want to do it. So if they do it, I'll know why.
Okay.
Obviously, we're not going to get to this point, but if we do,
You don't think it's I'm circling home versus the Jags because those are 3
I'm not
games.
to be clear, I'm not saying they couldn't be 2-10, and it's obviously on the table. I'm saying them getting to 2-10 and benching Levis, I don't think it happens.
Will
and
the
if it
Titans
does, we know
be less than a touchdown underdog in any of the next 3 games?
Less than a touchdown.
Less than a touchdown.
Oh, in the next 3.
In the next 4. I'm talking Chargers.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the Jags game.
Chargers, Vikings at home, so you're going to get a little bit of extra points.
Yeah, I think home Vikings will probably be like 5.5 if I had to guess. 5.5, 6.5. They won't be a touchdown dog at home. The bar to clear to be a touchdown dog at home is just really, really high. They'd have to get murdered by the Vikings, or they'd get murdered by the Chargers this week, and the Vikings would have to look awesome.
I think 2-10 is happening, and I think there is a decision because you have a winnable game against a division opponent where they want to win that game.
Who cares? You're 2-10. You don't want to win that game. You don't.
I'm just predicting I'm predicting a decision point. I'm not
because at 2-10 you would be number 1 or number 2 in the draft order. You would. There would not be 9 2-win teams by then anymore.
I'm not predicting the outcome of the decision. I am predicting the predicament.
I understand.
So
you get what I'm saying. That if you still have only 2 wins through 12 games, you will either have you'll be sitting at number 1 or number 2 in the draft order, because all these 9 2-win teams, like a lot of them play each other. These teams have to win. They're going to start winning games,
including the game I'm talking about, which would be December 8th. December 8th against the Jags. Does Sam make it to December 8th against the Jags? Because that is where my first opportunity for Levis to not make it. Which means Sam makes it 1, 2, 3. That would be episode 4. So it's 1 more spot further than you thought.
Okay. I mean, he could make it that far. I
hope so. That'd be fun.
I reject your binary because, again, my number for Levis is 7.5 games. I'm taking the over. So I think you're way off on how many games he plays. So we'll see.
Okay. I think it's a fun conversation because I think it's closer than
very Friday conversation.
Yeah, look, it's Friday. What do you want us to do? All right, let's wrap up this week. Yeah. Let's wrap up this week with a little good news. If you have good news in the chat, please drop it in there. Even if you're anonymous Facebook users on our platform, I'll try to do my best to attach the good news to the people flipping back and forth. But good news time to wrap up this week. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com to save money on the ride. Say hey to Payne Bone while you're there. wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Good news, good news, good news. Let's see. I'm going to flip over to Facebook so I can give some Demetrius. Good news. The election's over. Yes.
Hell yeah, man.
Leave
No
tomorrow.
more political ads between football game commercials. Let's go.
Yeah, but you still have Hellman's Mayo.
Back to exactly more Levis commercials.
Chris Frazier, it's Friday. Good news. Jeff, good news. Leave tomorrow for my week-long trip in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Not missing any Ohio State games. Purdue and Northwestern. Yeah.
Ireland rocks. I went to Ireland around this time last year. It's a ton of fun.
I'd love to do that. All right, so more good news is rolling in. Guy says happy Veterans Day to all the fellow vets out there. Absolutely. Veterans Day is on Monday.
Veterans Day is my birthday every year.
Really?
11/11. That's me.
Okay.
So honor your veterans and me, who has never served this country in any way. But I do love it. Do love the country. Just no service.
Just no service. You guys, right. I'm doing service to the country by not.
I'm serving the country by covering the Titans.
By not doing
very selfless act.
Yeah. All right, so do you have good news, Easton? I have good news. I have which Bearded Kunu says good news. The pheasant opener in KC, Kansas. I don't know what that means. Rooney says good news, got a raise.
Is pheasant opener like open season on pheasants? Is this a guy a hunter, perhaps?
Maybe. Beats me. Tone says tomorrow's look. You and Tones having birthday weekends. So do you count the weekend as your birthday weekend? Are you a birthday weekend person?
I'm a birthday month guy. No. No. I don't know, man. I'm at the point in life, in my old ripe age, I'm at the point where birthdays are just whenever you have time, So like this weekend, we'll find time to do dinner with family or my wife or something. I don't know. When you have a baby too, it kind of complicates things, and the Titans playing, so we'll find a time.
There you go. Ugly RJ says, Easton, blink 3 times if they're forcing you to say all that about Levis. I just thought that was funny. Don't blink. Now you have to be careful because people are watching. Burning Devil says, good news, college football playoffs. Yeah, that's great. Look, I think the college football playoffs got it right, baby. This is so good. You can stop trying to not blink now because it's freaking me out. So I love the college football playoff rankings. I think it's going to be super fun throughout the distance of what this month is going to be for that.
I'm so excited about it.
Yeah, because I get,
I'm glad you are, because you're like, I'm like a very casual college enjoyer. You're much more of a college fan. And I know a lot of diehard fans that are like, bro, I hate the playoff. Bro.
No,
bring back the BCS, bro.
No, the best thing about college football is that it is imperfect. Because in the NFL, everything is tiebreakers, right? Everything is mathematically equated. Okay, if you were this, then here's this tiebreaker and that tiebreaker, shrink the schedule and percentages and numbers, and it just, there's no debate. The subjectivity of it all is what makes it amazing, is because you can have a debate about, well, what happens if it's a one-loss Indiana that lost to Ohio State versus a 2-loss Tennessee who lost at Arkansas and at Georgia. Currently, Tennessee by the rankings should be in above Indiana because that's kind of how they're slated now. Then what happens if Notre Dame's in there? I love it. It's amazing. So the imperfection of college football makes it better, and I want us to all embrace that. That's not my good news, but that's a point.
And in this year in particular, right, where nobody, like, there's Indiana, and then everybody else kind of sucks. Like, that's an overreaction, but like everybody's so flawed. There aren't really any powerhouses. Even Indiana, it's like, who have they played? Let's see them play a good team. I don't know. I saw a lot of Indiana fans over the weekend upset about their ranking. Do you think that Indiana football has a reasonable gripe with not being ranked higher this year so far?
I mean, their schedule broke how it did, which is not their fault, and they've handled their business. The whole thing is like they've won every game by double digits because that's who they've played, but they haven't played anybody worth a damn. So they've got a couple games against some average teams. Then they have Ohio State. Then you got to figure that out. So
right.
What, and then the whole thing of like, are they tested? Right? It's the whole, like, you've blown out too many teams, or you battle tested. Like, can you figure out how to convert on 3rd and 8 when you're down by 4 in the 4th quarter? You never had to do that yet. And
Sure.
so like, what's
Right.
the value of that?
I think
Like,
weren't they
you've
down
been-
for the first time last week?
something like that. Like
Yeah,
you've been
and then they
too
scored
good this
40
season
points.
to know how
Yeah.
good you are. And
Fair.
so there's so many wild things, which I love it. So
By the
my
way,
good,
King VC earlier, we missed him. Lock in like the show. Thank you,
yeah.
King.
Oh,
We appreciate
dang. I'm
you.
sorry, man.
That's all right.
Forget about that. The whole Facebook user mess up
Right.
is
A couple of
throwing me
comments to
for a
get to,
loop.
by the way. Dad to the bone. We missed this at the beginning. Apparently, he's rocking your high school wardrobe with shorts under the pants at his construction site today because of the fluctuating weather. So shout out to Captain Pants Under Shorts Under Pants or whatever you used to rock. And then Rashid asking, do we have a show on Thanksgiving? No. Just for a PSA there. Facebook
No
user
show
says,
on
I'm confused. Isn't Vets Day always on a Monday? Easton, your birthday can't. No. I know this because it's my birthday. Veterans Day is always on 11/11. It's not tied to a day of the week. Do you know why it's on 11/11, Austin? Here's some trivia knowledge for us for future reference.
Okay.
It's because it marks Armistice Day, which was the end of the open conflict in World War I, which was on November 11th. And the saying was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month is when the Great War ended. So that's why it's 11/11.
There you go. I did not. I'm sure I knew that at one point.
Right. In
when I was taught that.
When they taught us that,
high
and
school
then
or something.
promptly forgot it because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But no, sometimes Veterans Day is observed on either like a Friday or a Monday because certain industries close. That is a holiday for like banks and schools,
right. MLK Day, President's Day, and
so if Veterans Day falls on a weekend, then we would observe it on a Friday or a Monday. We, as in the company that doesn't close, but we observe Veterans Day.
We, the company most busy on Saturdays and Sundays.
We observe Veterans Day by talking football.
That's right.
Every year. So your good news is your birthday's on Monday.
I suppose so. Here's another small bit of good news is just that the weather, I think is going to finally quit being dumb and be fall. Because the past couple of days, I can't tell you how many times I've flipped the air in my house from heat, cool, because every day we're like sitting right around that weird, gross.
You're wearing pants in the morning and shorts in the afternoon.
Right. Like I'm wearing this right now. In 2 hours, if I walk outside with this on, I'll die. So hopefully that ends soon. That's good.
That's why long sleeve t-shirt season, which is my favorite.
Yeah, I know you're a big long sleeve tee guy.
Big long sleeve tee guy.
You are.
My good news is Bob Kessling, voice of the Vols, is retiring, and it's not like I'm not cheering the retirement of Bob Kessling.
Get him out of here!
No, this is a congratulations to Bob Kessling and a little bit of like an opportunity for me to storytell because Bob Kessling is a fantastic human being. He's been the voice of the Vols since 1998 after John Ward retired. Once the Vols won the national championship, John Ward, the original voice of the Vols, is the GOAT and is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this as a kid. But Bob Kessling was one of the reasons why I continued to want to do this as a kid. And Bob is one of the reasons why I went to University of Tennessee as a sports journalism and broadcasting major, because he gave so much time that he did not need to do to a 17-year-old kid on a college visit on a Saturday in January in Knoxville, and went out of his way to show me around all the different facilities, the different broadcast studios, all the different everything. And then at the I don't know if you remember this, Easton, because this is probably before the last time you went to a college football game.
Okay.
When Vanderbilt was ranked like 18th in the country in basketball, Tennessee was a pretty good team under Bruce Pearl in 2007.
Okay.
This was after Tennessee was the number one team and lost to Vanderbilt. AJ Ogilvy, Shane Foster, some of those Vandy players that were badasses back in the day. Wayne Chisholm and the Vols beat Tennessee that night, Chris Lofton and others. And we had tickets. So that was at my college visit. Talked to Bob Kessling earlier in the day. He showed me around the studios. He said, "Hey, after the game, you going to the game tonight? After the game, come down to this floor." So family and I walked down the floor at post-game show ended, and Bob said, "Hey, come on down and meet Coach Pearl." And so I got to meet Bruce Pearl.
That's awesome.
The floor, and I got to shoot basketball at Thompson Bowling Arena as a 17-year-old kid. I was like, "Am I being recruited?" And because that's what it felt like.
Put me on the team.
Because on the way home, I was like, "Dad, I'm done. Like, we're going here." Like, so and that was
no more visits.
That was a heavy lean anyway going into it. But so shout out to Bob Kessling in his retirement. He played a big role in a lot of people that have done this and gone into this industry for a living. And so great guy. So happy retirement. Hopefully
Cheers to
feels
that,
like
man.
feels like 98. Feels like 98. Last time voiced the Vols retiring.
I was about to ask, how long has he been
98.
doing it? Okay.
John Ward announced his retirement before the 98 season. Tennessee goes on, wins the national championship. John Ward retires. Bob Kessling, college football playoff.
Well, and then
Feels
the
like
question,
98.
Perhaps, and then the question
Badass
becomes
defense.
who's the
Badass
next voice of
defense.
the Vols?
Offense, not super flashy at times.
Who are they going to replace him with, though?
We have an article on our website.
Some candidates in that article?
There's
some familiar candidates?
Mike Keith, absolutely candidate.
Woo!
So, yeah.
Happy Friday.
Yep. Happy Friday. We'll let you chew on that one as you listen to Mike Keith on Sunday. Man, yeah, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. But we'll catch you guys later on. Hope you have a great start to your weekend. I know Sam's got a Titans at 2 video that he's going to record talking about some availability, and Buck has a 615 sessions later on in the day with some other Titans media. So make sure you hit that like button. I don't know why Facebook's being so weird, but hopefully it figures itself out by the time we are live on Sunday. Sam and Easton doing the game day show for Titans at Chargers. So we'll catch you guys later on. Have a great start to your weekend. Appreciate it as always.